Welcome back to the channel. The Cowboys now sit at 5-1 after nearly getting out of New England with an overtime win and now head into the bye. Looking around the standings, the Cowboys lead the division by 3 games and currently in a 4-way tie for the best record in conference, led by Prescott and Kellen Moore. The offense is everything we expected, if not a little bit more. Prescott is playing at an MVP level, fresh off of 445 and 3 touchdowns. And it's nothing short of elite, and the rest of the NFL is finally seeming to take notice. Not only that, the running backs Zeke and Pollard are playing top-notch to complement a potent passing attack. Meanwhile, the defense has not been great, but they are opportunistic with DPOY Trayvon Diggs. Let's face it, the defense is miles ahead from what anyone thought, and all credit goes to Dan Quinn. However, it hasn't all been great, and there have been mistakes to clean up, like penalties and red zone issues. With the bye, I want to reflect on where the Cowboys are and where they're going. So to do that, I had to bring in a special guest for his thoughts on this year's Cowboys. He's a great follow on Twitter and offers a very unique insight as it pertains to the Cowboys. So no intro needed. Please welcome Mr. Tad Prescott. Tad, what's up, man?
What's up, LP? What's up, man? Thank you for having me back on.
Man, appreciate you coming on to slide on, man. So first off, before we get started, how can we find you on Twitter and IG?
Oh, man, Twitter, at 86 Prescott, IG, first Prescott, the letter 3 for the E, though. So it's the number 1, STPR3, Scott. Hit me up. I'm there.
You guys heard it first. And once again, I'm LP Cruz, and you can find me at SDQ Flight Crew. So, Tad, man, let's hop right into it. Just talk about where these Cowboys are, like a State of the Union address, pretty much. So let's start with the defense first, because when we had you on during was it April or was it May post-draft?
Something like that, yeah. I want to say May, maybe. I want to say we had to push it back a little bit, so I want to go towards May.
May, okay. So I know we talked about Micah Parsons off the cuff, and I think you was really high on Micah Parsons. And I think if I remember right, you said they had to move on from Mike Nolan to get Dan Quinn, and that was like your big get of the offseason. Kind of, man, talking about the defenses off the cuff, just give them a grade, an A through E, A through F. Like, what would you say they're at right now?
I mean, how could you not say they're anything but an A? I mean, they've had at least 1 turnover a game. There's been, 3 games now where they've turned those turnovers into points. And I mean, points immediately from the defense, not points that the offense got on the field and scored, that the defense themselves turned that into a touchdown, I believe. Trayvon has 2, and then Anthony Brown has the other. So, I mean, how could you give them anything but an A? Like I said, they've been great. And then not to mention with having to figure out how to move Micah around and playing without D-Law on their front line. I mean, there was questions coming in just based off how they played last year. And then there was even more questions coming in based off the fact that we didn't know what Randy Gregory would be, or, a lot of people didn't know what Randy Gregory would be, or the fact that D-Law was coming in injured. So, I mean, to see where Dan Quinn has him now, I mean, not to be biased or anything, I mean, they're an A, and that's for anybody that would play that well.
Do you see any Achilles heel? Like, is there anything to kind of take that grade down? Maybe it's the pass rush, the interior, the run game. Like, pick one Achilles heel from this defense so you can find.
No, like, I mean, the only Achilles heel I would say, and if the defense had one, I would be to say, which I don't want to necessarily classify as an Achilles heel, would just be their aggression. I mean, like I said, the one time you see them, they're a little bit out of place because they're baiting that quarterback in. Like, Trayvon is so good at baiting quarterbacks, and you can see that so early in his career that he can bait a quarterback. And now you're seeing with his ability to do it, you're seeing the other guys, around him also trying to set up their bait shop. So that would be like the only Achilles heel I would say is that, somebody has to close shop down at some time. You can't always leave that door open. So that would just be it. But other than that, I mean, like I said, that they're playing great complementary football defensive wise, both on that line to the back level. Like I said, they're creating that pressure at the front line. And then, of course, these guys are covering better than they ever have. And then again, they're doing all of this without D-Law. So, I mean, you would just automatically make the assumption that once D-Law gets on that field, that this defense becomes that much better.
Okay, so kind of assessing everybody. I mean, with the moving parts, like you said, there's a lot of things moving around right now. Who has been the best newcomer to the defense? It can be a draft pick, a free agent. It can be anybody. Who's like your best newcomer here?
Newcomer, man, I really like Kazi. I mean, I really like what he's doing out there. I like the aggressiveness he's playing. And then again, I don't know if you want to call him a newcomer, but it's Trayvon. I mean, Diggs is a prime example of what you get when you get an offseason. I mean, like I said, he came in last year as a complete raw rookie. He didn't have any of that offseason to study the film, to work with Amari Cooper and Dak, of course, the way he does now. And then now they get all that. You see it on Hard Knocks. You see it that they put in at the start. So all that work is just put in. Now you see it on the field to where now he's out there with elite route runners and elite top guys, and he's running their routes for him. And that's just work that put in. And then of course, I mean, Micah, I mean, he is the newcomer, he is the rookie on the field. And I mean, he's their Swiss Army knife right now. I mean, the guy can, I believe you could drop him off and play him at safety if you needed to. So, I mean, if you had to just choose one that was a true newcomer, I would have to say Micah, just because I truly believe he's a defensive rookie of the year. But I mean, like I said, the season that Trayvon's having in these first 6 games, I mean, I don't think we've seen anything like it in a long time.
I mean, I would agree with that. I think when we talked about it before, we're kind of picking on who can't fall off, who cannot have a fallback season at all. And Diggs was the guy we all talked about. I mean, the center too, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But I know Diggs was that guy, like, hey, he cannot fall off. He's got to be A1 or we're short. And he's been everything and more in that area. But if I had to pick a guy, I mean, I kind of want to say maybe Osa a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, because they got slammed by just injuries back to back with Gallimore. You lost, I mean, Hill's not back yet. So it's like, you need that guy. And it's a lot of pressure to put on a guy who was, I think, maybe a combo, he was an edge, D tackle kind of combo, but now
he may come out there on the outside. Yeah. And I mean, I give you that because I mean, it's just that D line, period. I mean, if you only say a newcomer again, he's not somebody that's new, but we hadn't seen Randy on the field in a long time. And I mean, look at how great he's come back. And I mean, in shape, playing. And Randy Gregory has always been one of my favorite players, not just for the Cowboys, but period at that position, because you can see just the motion he has that he plays with in that game. And like I said, just him, Bradshaw, that front line as a whole, when they rotate, when they stay in, I mean, like I said, it's been phenomenal. And that's why I said, like, you like to see it now. So your only expectation is that D-Law comes back and makes it better, you know? Like I said, you don't want to make, the worst thing in the world would be for you to start figuring out how to switch this up and move this just because D-Law's coming back. If anything, I say you keep D-Law just as fresh as you keep them, and you keep that on a constant rotation, because they have proven through these first 6 weeks that they can handle their own at that line.
So kind of talking about this one thing, because it's been my concern too, because I look at the numbers, like the numbers are high, but the turnovers are high too, to kind of counteract that. Is the run defense good enough?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I mean, same thing. We hadn't really to this point played a team that's heavy on the run yet. I'm sure we'll see that but I mean, then again, who in this NFL is heavy on the run anymore? I mean, you have Derrick Henry, you have the Seahawks, of course, they're a run-based team. Lamar Jackson and them are a run-based team. But other than that, pretty much everybody puts it in the air. So I think they're finally built to be that run stopping defense, but more importantly, to handle everything that they have when they have to cover back deep. Like I said, you see the way Van Der Esch is playing. You see the way that Michael Parsons is playing. Keanu Neal, when he's healthy down in that box. I mean, we hadn't even been able to see Jabril Cox yet, who I think is going to be great once I mean, especially based off the preseason he had. I thought we'd see him by now, especially with Jalen being let go. But I definitely think they're better. Again, D-Law gets all that credit for the pass rusher he is, but D-Law also plays that run really well. I mean, D-Law can come off the edge and crash down. So again, like I said, for what they've had to stop, what they're having to seam stop, I don't see why you wouldn't say. I mean, even on the run game, they're causing fumbles, they're causing losses of, runs for loss and everything else. So I mean, I think they're good. I really do. Like I said, this is probably the best Cowboys defense that we've seen in a long time, and that goes back to when Dion and you had guys like Dion and Woodson on the field.
A lot of speed. It's a lot of speed in a lot of different levels, and they have so much versatility every spot you can imagine. So I know
their speed we hadn't seen yet, like especially on that field. Like I said, like you said with Jabril Cox or with Kamar. Like I said, that's a guy that made the roster. Of course, they're looking at the special team, but if he was forced to come off that edge, who's going to stop him? I mean, like I said, and Micah, of course, is a linebacker back there running a 4-3. They're just moving way too fast right now, way faster than they ever have. And Dan Quinn hasn't been in positions to utilize that speed.
So you called him the defensive rookie of the year, but Micah Parsons. So in a dream scenario, where do you want him to play when Tank comes back? Are we going to a 5-2? Are we kind of having him off ball? Like, what's the ideal move for him? Or do you think he's fluid?
I kind of think maybe, I don't know, and I was wondering that somebody else had asked me that the other day. And like, at first I was like, well, man, you have to leave him at the edge. And I was like, well, no, you don't, because again, you could go that rotation scenario, but with Randy and D-Law, they're so great. And then, like you said, with Bradshaw coming off that edge, as great as he's been these first 6 weeks, I don't think you have to, I don't like using this word, but waste him there. I think you can leave him at that outside, or if anything, put him where you draft him to be. You draft him to be a middle linebacker. In this back half of the season, he can truly develop into that middle linebacker. You know, we hadn't really had to see him be forced to cover yet. So that's something that we're definitely going to have him do, you know, especially if he's that primary middle linebacker, you know, which, like I said, Dan Quinn's doing a phenomenal job of making sure that Micah can learn this NFL scheme. You know, like I said, he hadn't been forced to do anything too early that he would be uncomfortable with. You know, start him off as a pass rusher, let him work his way back to the outside edge. If he's going to drop into coverage, let it first be that outside flat to curl, and then we can work way in the middle and then work to a deeper route. So I said, I mean, you drafted him to be the linebacker, especially with letting Jalen Smith go. So, I mean, if you want to find out where he has to be, I think that's the spot he needs to be at. Like I said, let him become that true middle linebacker.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think you have to put him into a mold. You know what I'm saying? He's a chess piece. You can do whatever you want him to do. I do think, though, because, you know, we talked about the draft time, maybe if it was you or somebody else on Twitter, we talked about the coverage ability with Micah Parsons, and can he be relied on to do it? Like, covering in the NFL is difficult for anybody. I don't care who you are, if you're in the 4-3 or not. He's a rare breed. I know this for a fact, but I haven't seen it to where he's been tasked to do it repeatedly. And I think that's where we worry about that, too. So, I mean, give him his snaps. Let's see what's up. But I think in that role, Cox might be better already from the experience. So we'll see about that. You talked about Jalen Smith, man. So I had to ask you, what were your initial thoughts when that news broke that he got released?
I mean, I would like to say I was shocked because I mean, but then again, I wasn't. Like I said, I mean, I've met Jalen a few times, so I have nothing bad to say to him as a person or anything like that. His character seems to be great, but I mean, when you go back and watch the film, and there was just too many plays where you really just had to ask yourself, like, what are you doing? You know, what are you seeing? What are you looking at? Why did you run away from that play? I mean, there was one play that I can't. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but I mean, he literally. Yes, he literally sees the running back in the hole, and then for whatever reason decides to run the opposite way. And it's like, what are you seeing? And then I want to say the Tampa Bay game, there was a run where he literally, like, Tom Brady had already given Fournette the ball, and you literally see in the gap, it's just Jalen and Fournette, and he's still taking steps backwards. As a linebacker, your first step is supposed to be forward anyway. So it's like, what are you seeing or what are you looking at that if you do you not notice this running back has the ball in his hands to where, like, Tom Brady he's not even doing his little fake rollout anymore. Like, it's clearly here, Fournette, there's your ball. And yet my man's still taking steps back. So like I said, I don't know where the disconnect in his game came from, because I mean, his rookie year and the year after that, I mean, we were talking about Jalen being one of the young great linebackers in this league, especially when he was paired with Van Der Esch. So where the drop off and the disconnect began, I don't know. Like I said, I wish him all the luck in Green Bay, but I mean, I said, man, all you had to do was cut on the film, and you wouldn't be shocked by that news at all.
Nah, and I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I think everyone thinks Jalen's a pretty good dude. Like, we have no problem with the person that he is. He's a solid character, a good guy. It's just, I mean, we've all been at jobs before, right? You work at a job, someone comes in, they can do your job for less money. You're on the chopping block. It's real life. The NFL mirrors real life sometimes, and I think that's what happened with just. I mean, if you invest in two linebackers, Cox, Parsons, you negate the fifth-year option for Van Der Esch.
Keanu Neal. Keanu Neal wasn't brought in to play safety. I mean, let's just be honest. Keanu Neal wasn't brought in to play safety.
That's somebody else. So it's like you. So I see a point where you're like, man, I'm not surprised by it, but it's all about timing too, right? You would think like, okay, the ink is dry. We've already paid him. Let's just hang on to him.
Yeah, but then again, you had Keanu coming back healthy from COVID, and then I think their biggest concern more than anything was the injury clause that he had in his contract. I think that may have played a huge role on the timing of, are we really going to risk just continuing to let him go out there when, let's say this for better or worse, we don't need him out there. So are we going to continue to risk throwing him out there just because we're paying him $40 million, and then God forbid he suffers a season-ending injury out here on this field, and now we're reliable for that as well. So I think a lot of that played into it. And then, of course, more than anything, like I said, it's the NFL, man. Production with the risk of injury and everything that accumulated with all that money tied into something that possibly may not play for you. It was just, hey, it's time to move on.
It's a lot going on. I mean, I agree with that. I agree 100%, man. So we talked about one Achilles heel possibly being his play and lapses mentally. Can we talk about, because everyone, I think fans worry about Anthony Brown a lot for whatever reason. We know one side is covered. Like, Diggs has his side locked down. What do you feel about Anthony Brown? Do you think he wraps up the entire season as you shaking your head? Let me know what's up.
I'm one of those people, man. Like I'm one of those people that like I like AB. I've met AB a few times, and then again, it's like it's just we never know which AB we're getting. And that's the big thing that it plays out to. Like I'm right there with you. Like the man has proven and shown he can cover. I mean, if he hadn't proven and shown that, then Cheeto would still be here because we see Awuzie is having a great year right now in
Yeah,
Cincinnati. He's doing
yeah,
his thing. So I mean, you beat out that man who, like I said, I was a favorite of Cheeto. I like Cheeto in the way he played a lot. So and I'm not arguing with the Cowboys right now. They've been doing a lot in the past 6 years that have been like, okay, I understand you guys know what you're doing. So, like I said, you
Mhm.
see it on the plays, you see it on like the pick six he had the other day, you see it on the big stop, but then like just this past week they missed it on the stopper on this side. I mean, he grabbed the receiver's face mask. It's like, and that was pointless. It's like I understand if you're gonna make contact, you make your contact, whatever. But I mean, bro, you deliberately went to the face, like, and you just got lucky that the refs didn't call that.
Yep,
And then, like I said,
yep.
it seems like a lot of times he just gets caught sitting down on routes. Like his biggest thing I think for him is he takes a lot of guesses. And I think that, but again, like you like that from a corner, that aggressiveness. But it's like he's just one of those ones that it stands out sometimes because it seems more so than not he guesses wrong. But now, like I said, with the way that everybody's playing and the way that everybody's around him, you can cover those mistakes if they are made. And like I said, you see the benefits of it, especially now, like I said, with the Trayvon Diggs on the other side. I don't know why it happened yet, but it's getting to the point where quarterbacks are going to understand I can't throw over there.
Right,
So he's gonna
right.
have to become less aggressive. Like I said, right now you can be aggressive because when they do come to your side, that's what it is. But they're about to start trying to run double moves and everything else over here because they know they cannot do that over here. So
Yeah,
like I said, I mean, he's shown he can play. I'm not somebody that's like, oh, we need to get rid of AB. We need to get rid of somebody. Like I said, you never know. Like I said, his biggest thing for me is you can tell when he gets caught sitting down on routes.
yeah, and I'm not going to argue with that either. I think the play in question you talked about with the face mask, to me, just watching the game, I'm like, I think he gave him outside leverage, I believe. So he's sitting inside on that route, and he gave him the corner, and he was
Exactly.
cooked. He was beat. I was like, okay, yeah, you can't do that. He squatted down at the top of the route, let him get outside, and then he had to catch him and grab the face mask, which is a no anyway. So I think, man, really, I think you kind of had it locked right there. Like Diggs is becoming that elite corner. It's like, well, I need you to be not Anthony Brown. I want you to be Kevin Smith, the one of those guys
Yeah.
opposite of a great corner and step it on up. So in your estimation, do you think he holds the job the whole season?
I mean, I don't know who's going to take the spot. We hadn't seen Kelvin Joseph, so I mean, and then beyond that, I mean, what's the other the tall corner, the 6'4" guy?
Got right. Coming
Yeah,
in, you got Kennedy, who has not played much either.
right, exactly. So I mean, who takes his spot? I think if there was any time or opportunity to take this spot, it would have been taken by now. So like I said, I definitely think it's his. Another thing is he hasn't really been beat yet. I mean, so that's another thing that we have to take. There hadn't been anybody that took the top off of him yet, or anybody that consistently just went, "Oh, we're going to AB this game, and let's just expose them." So until you come into that situation, which I don't think he'll put you in, I don't think you have to sit him down. So I do. I think he holds it the whole season. I think he's capable of being that second corner on his Super Bowl winning defense. So, like I said, I think honestly, like you just said, I think it's his spot to lose. But at the same time, I don't think there's anybody behind him right now that's threatening to take his spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with that. I mean, it's high praise for him for sure to kind of
Mhm.
give him that title. I know week one was tough. But AB is a pro. AB is
Yeah, AB. People try to sleep on AB because of everything that happened off the field and that thing because now he's on his third team or whatever. But man,
Hall of
that's
Fame.
Antonio Brown. Like Tom Brady doesn't go to bat for somebody like that unless he went to the offseason with him, saw him run some routes, and went, okay, hey guys, this is still AB. If I throw this thing
Mhm.
45 to 60 yards on the dot, he's gonna catch it. So, and then again, he's a savvy vet. So I mean, like you said, now he's a Super Bowl winning vet. So yeah, to ask AB, I believe he's what in his fifth year, sixth year to
Uh, Same as Dak. So is it six?
yeah, so it's
Six.
going into a six. So I mean, like I said, he's definitely a veteran, but he's not that quality of a veteran yet. Like I said, AB has tricks for days, and I mean that's on the best cornerbacks, the ones that we definitely hold up to that top tier. AB still gives them the business. So again, I don't think that's fair to be like, well, AB killed a. I mean, Antonio killed Anthony Brown. Well, Antonio kills people weekly, so I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta live with that.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. So let's finally flip to my favorite side of the ball, offense. So we've got to kind of look and assess this whole thing all the way through for the last, 6 weeks now. So right tackle, that's the one everyone talks about with, and shout out to Terrence Steele, who held it down, did a great job. But now that Lyle's back, what do you do with Lyle? Do you decide to just throw him back in? I'm hearing whispers about somehow moving Lyle to guard, which I wouldn't do, but what do you want to do with that spot?
Like you said, man, big ups, big credit to Terrence Steele, because he was also one of those ones that coming in, people were questioning just based off of how he played, last year and everything. Like, could he hold up at right tackle? So, I mean, for him to come in and do what he did, phenomenal job. Like I said, I mean, I think he definitely secured a backup job. And I hate to say that because, I mean, the man obviously showed he could start in this league. But, I mean, again, bro, that's Lyle Collins. And Lyle has earned that spot for a reason. So I think, yes, I think you throw him right back in there. I mean, Lyle played the preseason. Lyle's had a great offseason. Like I said, I know that for a fact because him and Dak rehab and trained together. So, I mean, I know he's healthy enough and ready to come back in. I mean, he's probably in the best shape he's been in his career. And he may even tell you that himself. Like I said, I don't know. My thing is, and I don't want to say I'm a hater, but he's always been somebody kind of, if he can still play left guard. Because although, Connor Williams definitely gotten stronger in these last couple of years, whatever, to me, he's still a liability. Like I said, I know I like the way he plays. I like the aggressiveness and everything, but I mean, you still see the penalties. You still see the unnecessary penalties, the holds. And I mean, he's doing that because he's getting beat. I mean, like I said, he's not playing Aaron Donalds in them yet. And like I said, he's getting beat and he's having to hold these guys. So like I said, his balance and his base overall has definitely improved. But like I said, it still seems like he has work to do on his footwork. It seems like his feet at times are still a little too slow. And then like I said, it seems like he has trouble at times getting his hands up. So it's like, I know Steele's kind of tall, but can still play left guard. That would be maybe one of the things I would go to, especially if you just want to keep him on the line. But I definitely think you put Lyle back at right tackle, and then if you want to leave everything as is, then you go from that. But like I say, if you're trying to find a spot to keep Steele on, I would see if he could play left guard.
All right. So pretty much saying we're gonna keep it status quo. So from that point, man, let's talk about center, because that's the one thing seems more apparent when you want to make a move. What are your thoughts on Biotis at center, man? What would you like to do there?
I like Biotis. Again, I call him badass. I don't know why he's getting all this criticism that he's getting. I understand he's had a few, bad snaps or so to start the season or whatever. I mean, but again, this is a second year guy. Again, he just experienced his first off season. And if you want to go look at what he did last year, especially when Dak went down, I mean, like I said, that, for lack of better words, that wasn't the same communication you're getting that you got from Andy Dalton that you're going to get from Dak. Dak's going to hold you, or at least I know and believe he's going to hold you to a lot higher standard. So if you mess up something or whatever, he's going to get onto you about. So he experienced that over this offseason. He got with that. You see him making communications with Dak at the line. You see him talking to that line. And I mean, he's a Wisconsin guy. He's a smart guy. He's a second, and he's, like I said, he's just a second year guy. And he's only getting better. Again, I hear the talks and I see the whispers of, oh, we should move Biotis and whatever. But then again, I go like, who are you moving him for? Are you really chasing some veteran all-pro center to replace this kid who has shown that he has the ability to do nothing but get better? And like I said, so I don't, maybe you can explain to me, I don't understand the criticism he gets. I really don't.
Yeah. I think it's synonymous with Williams, right? It's the same problems of being overpowered by bigger players. That's been what they've been kind of talking about. Hey, he tends, I mean, the snaps are an issue, but then again, we lived through Phil Costa with Tony Romo, bad snaps and things like that. So we can see it. I mean, but even like Gerard had that problem too, Andre Gerard, but he was a road grader. Like he had strength, like you saw it.
And it doesn't help him that he's replacing a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's replacing a Hall of Famer, so that doesn't help because we got to see what Frederick did for so long in his great career. And then again, man, when he's getting, I'm not trying to point fingers at anything, but when he's getting that overpowered pressure, where's it coming from? It's over his left shoulder. He doesn't have to worry about his right shoulder because Zach has that locked down. So again, if I already have my right hand down and I got to snap this, I got to know that this left guard has my back in this move because at most time he and I are the ones going to double and then move up. So again, if Connor's already struggling, all that pressure's coming on his left shoulder. It's not that he's getting overpowered. It's just that he already has contact before he can even get that left shoulder up. I mean, you see that with all those great centers. Mm-hmm. It's this, and then it's this shoulder coming up. If he's snapping and that defender's already hitting him because Connor's not getting those hands on him, I mean, how's he supposed to defend himself?
Because I think the new popular guy is McGovern.
Yeah,
everyone loves McGovern, and
I like him too. I do. I'm not gonna lie, I like McGovern, but McGovern's athletic. I give him that too, but to me, McGovern's not a center. You know, maybe you could force him to become a center, but like I said, to me, he's a guard. He's a good gritty guard. He's somebody that I don't understand why he's not playing left guard now. So, like I said, I mean, maybe you could see how it works, but I truly don't see it being better than what we have now.
But I think, see, the part that's kind of tripping me up is we've seen him play with good power. And the fact that he's playing fullback when you already activated a fullback, Ralston, is like, okay, you guys want this guy to be active and be on the field in some capacity. And you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it. It's like, you guys don't want him to rot on the bench. Like, there's something you want from him. And I'm like, look, man, make the change. It's okay. It's cool. And either way, like, you have a third-year player and a second-year player. It's 1A, 1B to me. I don't really have an issue with it. If one guy gives you more athleticism and power, play him.
But have we seen McGovern play center?
We haven't, but I think he played center at Penn State, right?
I don't think so. That's why I'm asking. Like, I don't know. I thought he was a guard at Penn State. That's what I'm asking. Like, it's big to ask somebody that's never, even if you did it in high school, or like I said, and you did it 1 year at Penn State, to now be in the NFL, you've been here 2-3 years, and just to ask, hey, forget everything we taught you about this guard. I need you now to put your hand on this ball, identify this mic, tell Dak what's going on. That's a lot to ask somebody who's never had to do that before.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I think, like I said, I understand, but yes, you definitely want to get him on the field because he is strong, he is powerful, he's definitely athletic and prove he can play. But like I said, maybe asking him to play that position is asking too much.
I think with the bye week, they're gonna tinker with it. And that's the thing, man. They're gonna play. They're like, okay, can you do it? Because and my thing is, like, let's talk about the teams we're gonna play, right? Like, we're gonna be playing these teams, hopefully in the playoffs, Tampa. I assume guys like Kenny Clark, playing for Green Bay, guys that can line up over your center and just shove him backwards. Like, those kind of guys are going to be there. If you think this guy McGovern has the power and the pop to stick with that, you got to.
You mean Biotis or Governor? Because again, look who you're living in a one game scenario right now. Your mind is showing you Vita Vea and Sue pushing this man back. Who do they not push back at center?
I know, but
that's what they do.
So you gotta go through them though. But you know this team is good. You know where we're going. Like,
I know where we're going. Like I said, this, and like you said, the bye week is the perfect time to play with it. So they have this entire time to see if this works, if it doesn't work, if it comes back. But like I said, man, don't hold a man accountable in 1 week. He did great against the Chargers. He did really well last week against New England. Like I said, they had that one. No, it wasn't New England. They had the best snappers the week before. But like I said, I mean, man, when you put Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea over you at one time, or you have a guy like Aaron Donald or something, like I said, Zach Martin tells you, we hold Zach Martin and Quentin Nelson up there to the top two. There's nobody that plays guard better than those two guys. And they tell you, Aaron Donald is the worst guy. Like, we hate playing against him because that's the guy we know you better give everything on every snap. So those are Hall of Famers talking about Hall of Famers. So if you have this guy who a second-year guy, hey man, I don't expect you to be pushed back, but that's why you have this talent around you to not negate that, but game plan that. Hey, you go into this game plan knowing he's probably going to get pushed back this game, coach. So we might not want to scheme this way. We might need to put McGovern in at the same thing. Maybe that's why McGovern's playing fullback.
Just saying, man.
So, like I said, there's ways to get around it. There's definitely schemes, and like you said, you made a perfect point. It's a bye week. This is why they have the bye week, to get healthy, to tinker with things and play with things. So when we come back against Minnesota, we'll see what that offensive line looks like. I'm one that believes it'll be identical, besides, of course, the Lau being put in. But other than that, like I said, I don't think they make a change at center.
And that's one to watch out for. Minnesota, that they had their guys Pierce and Dalvin Tomlinson.
Yeah,
you guys, that's your poor man Vita Vea and Sue. But talking about offense, man, guys coming back. So I'm sure you know MG pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Love MG.
So how much better can we get when he comes back? How does he kind of sneak his way back into this offense?
Man, I honestly, I can't wait. I hit him up the other day and we were just talking. I was like, bro, when are we getting you back? And he was like, after the bye week. So, I mean, that's scary, man. Like, people hadn't even taken that consideration, because Cedric Wilson is somebody that I tell Dak all the time, like, y'all are going to lose Ced. I tell him that all the time. Y'all are going to lose Ced. Y'all better stop showing the world what Ced has. And he's like, no, we're good. But like I said, MG just comes in. I mean, when you compare MG and Ced side by side, like I said, I'm somebody who's really spent a lot of time with both of them. Like I said, watching them train together with Dak, watching them catch passes. Like I said, the one advantage that I would say that MG has over said is that size. MG is a horse. I mean, like he is muscle bound through and through, and he shows that on the field. I mean, like I said, he's a route runner, but he kind of plays with like that DK mentality where like if you try to press me, I'm going to push you down. And I think that's going to be so big because you already have this elite speed route runner in CD, and then this elite speed route runner in Cooper. And then you put this muscular speed phenomenal beast right here who, hey, press this. I mean, that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna press the goes, he's gonna press those deep posts, he's gonna press those seams. I mean, that's what he's I mean, again, that may change because his offense is so different this year, but I'm just going based off what we've seen him do in the past. That was kind of his role. And again, I think when you add that to it, it just makes not only the passing game that was more dangerous, but it just opens so much more for Zeke and Pollard then because you can't. I mean, they're having troubles now. They're finally starting to realize, hey, we can't play 8-9 man boxes. We have to cover. But like I said, they're not really playing too over the top or leaving somebody back there. When you put MG out there and these other guys where you know, hey, this is a press threat now, especially with these three. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few games where Zeke and Tony each touched 100 yards.
Damn. So
Like, really?
off script though, totally off script. When it comes to MG, just give me like your thought on this. Why is he always the first name mentioned in trades, man? Why do fans always toss his name in these rumors, man?
I don't know. I really don't. Trust me. I'm one of those ones right there with you. Every time I see it, it's MG for this, MG for that.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, why are we getting rid of MG? You know, but I think it just becomes the fact that I mean, we've seen what Amari Cooper, we knew what Amari Cooper was in college. Like I said, he didn't have. I mean, some people say he didn't have all that great of success in Oakland, but I mean, since he's came to Dallas, he's been nothing but advertised as he was at Alabama. Then, of course, you have CD Lamb, which you know what CD Lamb is. So, I mean, I think it just becomes back down to the Dak theory or whatever, man. You see the highly touted first round guys. So you go, okay, we're not going to get rid of this first round guy in the same, but you know, maybe this guy that we got in the third or fourth round, we can get rid of. The same reason they tried to tell you that Carson Wentz and Jared Goff was better than Dak. You know, they just look at where they were taken opposed to the attributes and the talents they have on the field. Now, as much as I hate to say it, if they traded a receiver, I guess in the long run it would be MG because, like I said, MG does have tremendous value. Who wouldn't want MG?
Right.
And then again, like I said, we've seen the report that Coop and them have, and I mean, they gave CD number 88. That tells you everything you need to know about how they feel about him. So like I said, so I mean, if it ever came up to where, hey, somebody, we need to trade a receiver to get something. I hate and I'm saddened to say that it would be MG. So maybe that's why maybe just the fans are realistic and they just understand that if it would be him. But I hate when I hear fans calling for MG to be traded. That's the difference. Like, come on, guys. Like, are y'all not noticing what this kid is?
It's always chasing parts, man. It's like anybody's ever had like a car that was crappy. I've had several. You just throwing parts at whatever, hoping it works. That's kind of how teams see the NFL, man. But talk about one guy, man, that we cannot afford to lose. Just tell me your thoughts on Dalton Schultz, man. We've seen this guy just blow up, really blow up. If you play fantasy, which I know you do. Tell me, man, how this guy's become a TE1, man, just like out of nowhere, it seems like.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I believe he got 1 year like to really study under Jason Witten. You know, which I'm sure that helped him a lot. You know, I'm sure that put in like some work ethic, study habits into him. But I mean, really, bro, like Dalton is like you can tell he's a Stanford graduate, like when you're around him. Like same thing, like when Dak calls and says, hey, I got guys coming over to train, Dalton's one of the first ones to pull up. And I mean, you hear him like, I mean, even when he was still the backup to Jarwin last year, when they would run routes, he was talking to Coop, he was talking to them, finding out how they run this, how they do this. Hey, go back to this. And then after practice, like I said, he's one of the main ones staying back to catch this. I mean, people may not know or may not see it, but he puts in the work. And like I said, man, it's really now you're just seeing that hard work pay off. Like I said, Dak's one of the biggest products of it, of, you know, a guy getting injured and you getting your opportunity to show it. And I mean, he's one of those. He was the next man up, and you know, he got his time and opportunity to show what he was due to the fact that Jarwin had got the injury. And I mean, now he's not letting go. He's not looking back, and he's showing that, yeah, man, he's definitely, like you said, tight end one. He's somebody that you definitely want to have on your squad.
So that being said, is he coming back? because you know what time it is, man. You know
Yeah,
what
man.
time it is.
It's again business. It's business. When you get to talking about is he coming back? Is he somebody that I think would want to come back? Yes, I know that. Like I said, I see him quite often. Like I said, he and I play poker together, things like that. So I know he's somebody that loves the Dallas Cowboys. I know he's somebody that loves his teammates. I know he loves Dak. Like I said, that's four to him. But again, is he somebody that would take the opportunity to go be that guy? Yes, but again, I don't see why he couldn't be that here. That it just becomes to the case that we've already paid Blake. Like we paid Blake what 2 years ago, I believe, or a year ago. So
Yep.
it
Yep.
boils down to where's the money? Like I said, because a lot of guys are coming up. Like I said, you're gonna have to pay CD at some point. MG at some point is gonna have to get his new deal. Said, like I said, Said's gonna need the deal.
Nope.
You got Blake, Schultz right there. So it's about finding the money. But I mean, if anybody's proven they could find the money when they want to keep somebody, we know it's the
It's the
Joneses.
Cowboys.
So, yeah, exactly. So I don't know if that's something that we need to worry about, but I definitely say he's coming back just off the pure fact that like I know he wants to be a Cowboy.
I mean, I would hope so. But and this is the thing with Dak Prescott, and I know we talked about this before. You don't engage in these, and I'm glad that you don't. But I know I'm always engaged in these Romo versus Dak debates nonstop on Twitter.
Yeah.
As Black Crew, by the way. Um, but really, it seems like, man, with Tony, he got guys paid. He found guys their money. And
Yeah.
Dalton is one of them. MG's another one. And it seems like with Dak, he's so skilled and so proficient that he's going to find guys their money. Like it's going to be nothing at all. And I mean, I would hate to lose Dalton Schultz because he's a guy, like you said, he's a Stanford guy. And the one thing I saw at Stanford was the guy could do both so seamlessly,
Yeah.
blocking, catching. Now he's being given the opportunity. It's like, I don't want to lose the guy, but we know how the NFL works, man. And we still signed the guy in Jarwin too, but it would just suck to lose that guy, man. Honestly, it would
Oh, it
suck to
really
go somewhere else, man. If you could pick one though, right? Who would you pick between Schultz or Gallup?
to keep or lose.
Yeah.
My
It-
God.
let's also acknowledge that the market for money is probably lesser for a tight end versus a receiver.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, I mean, yeah, like again, I hate that MG keeps getting put in these situations because again, I love MG so much, but at that time, I mean, you have to keep. Oh my God, I would want to keep Schultz just because again, we do a lot of the big two tight end formation, so there's a lot of times that both him and Jarwin on the field. And again, if you have already CD and Amari out there, I don't want to say that you can afford to lose MG in that situation, but you could. Where like you just said, I don't think looking down the road. I mean, and Dalton's young. I don't know his exact age, but I know he's young. So I mean, he has a few more years, good years left in him. He may just now be hitting his prime. So it's like same with MG though, but it's like in this kind of NFL today, where especially we see what kind of threat the tight end has become, especially with guys like Kelsey, Waller, Mark Andrews. You see what Knox is becoming in
Oh
Buffalo.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's basically the same road that Dalton's on right now. You're seeing both of them become those kind of guys. It's like, do you really want to lose that middle of the field threat? And I don't think you would. I really don't think you would, especially not in today's NFL. So, like I said, if I got put in a situation, which I'm glad I never will be put in, where I had to choose between one of the two to keep, I think I'm keeping Dalton.
Same here. And just for everything you said, that multiplicity in the offense, man, it's unrivaled right now. We watch teams play every Sunday. Like I know I watch Cowboys out here, but in the DMV, I watch the division rivals, and they can't even come with that. So no, I agree with you. I pay the tight end if we can keep them all equal. I say the tight end. But talking about another guy, man, Zeke. And just being honest, man, do you think how did you feel when we had the offseason last year and he kind of struggled? Did you think he would come back this hard this way this year? I mean, what did you really think about him? Just being honest.
Yes, because again, like I saw it all this offseason. Like it was crazy because again, those guys that I say I'm closest with because again, they're closest to Dak. So it's the ones that I see at the house that when they're training together, like Zeke, of course, Dalton, CD, Amari, said like Blake, all these guys come to the house, and it's like when Dak got hurt last year, they all got injured. And it's like when they saw the way four started to do his rehab and everything, it's like they all started their own rehabs. I mean, like I said, there was days where I know Dak, like I said, Dak couldn't even move yet. And Dalton said, hey, when are we gonna be able to throw? When are we gonna be able to throw? You saw CD and Amari at their wide receiver camps. You saw every day Zeke was posting a video of him at doing the trash can drills, him doing cones, him running sprints. And like I said, the first time I really got to put my eyes on him at the house when they finally got to throwing. And that's why I was like, bro, how much do you weigh? Like, I've never seen you look
Yeah.
like this. And again, like I got to looking around at all these guys, and I was telling our friend Jeremy, I was like, look at the shape these guys are in. I've seen all these guys for the past 4 years going on, more, and I've never seen any, including my little brother, look the way they look now. And like I said, like I talk about it all the time. Like I've seen Dak, and I've bragged on Dak's physique most of his life, but the physique he has now, like him, those guys are true action figures. Like they put it, and it's not like bulky or something. You can tell like it was with thought, it was with intent. Like, hey, bro, we're on to something. Yes, like we need to make sure that we're taking care of both body and mind. And like I said, you see them all talk about their mental aspects, the making sure that they're mentally strong, checking on each other and being there for each other. And then again, like I said, I think when they truly saw the work that Four was doing, and they knew the kind of man he was and the kind of fight he would put in for them, they all locked in on their own agenda and did the same thing. Like I told you, go look at LC. Lyle, same way. Lyle was with Dak every day during rehab. If Dak was doing it, LC was doing it. You go look at Tyron. Tyron said it, man. Look at the shape I'm in. I mean, he's always been a robot.
Yeah.
Even now, you can see where the fat is gone from Tyron. And it's like, okay, guys, like Connor, like I was just kind of bad now. Look at Connor Williams. When you see Connor Williams is a man now. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like these guys just put in the work, and like I said, man, it's just been phenomenal. So yes, to say that I expected anything less than Zeke from Zeke would be a lie. Like I knew it. I told everybody, like, get in trouble. We're gonna see 2016 Zeke again, and when we're seeing better than 2016 Zeke.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I'm a skeptic. Like I don't watch, off-season videos and kind of buy the hype. I'm a skeptic. I don't buy into that stuff. But every video he posted, it was something. I'm sitting there watching the feet. I'm watching how the feet move. And I mean, the last ones, man, the feet were just incredible, man.
Never nonstop.
You could take his feet and Kamara's feet in these videos. It was almost like simulcast. Like it was insane the progress he was making, man. So I give him that. I really do give him his respect. I thought he was cooked, not cooked, but not the guy that we have come to expect since 16. But I mean, damn, he put the work in, man. So Zeke, you watching this video, man? My bad. My apologies.
Yeah, like I said, man, and that's what I told Dak, man. Like when you hear the way both he and Zeke talks, like the way they talk, like, bro, we've truly been able to watch these two kids grow up. I mean, Zeke came into the league, I think it was 20. Like I'm almost positive Zeke came into the NFL at 20.
Barely 21. Barely.
Yeah, like no, he turned 21 in camp because his birthday's right there with Dak. So that's what I'm saying. He came to the league at 20. So that's what I'm saying. These guys are 6-year vets now. And like that's what I tell Dak all the time when I hear him talk, like, bro, you hear that veteran in you. Like I said, you hear it in Zeke, you hear that veteran. They've gone from this is Romo's team, this is Jason Witten's team to hey, this is our team. Yeah. It's time for us to lead these guys. And like I said, they're definitely ones that aren't just saying it, they're definitely leading by example.
So man, my favorite part, man, gotta talk about the quarterback. Gotta discuss the quarterback, man. So first off, we know, man, this guy's leadership in spades, man. Definitely the guy you want leading your team. I'll take him over anybody. I don't care. People can sweat Mahomes all they want. I don't care, man. I'm glad we have 4. I don't want anybody else. But I gotta ask you, like I did last time, in your mind, is Dak now a top 3 quarterback in the NFL?
Man, I told you then he was. I mean, like I said, yes, like I said, there's nothing he can't do. And again, I know the Dak we see today is not the Dak that came in 2016. Like I'll be the first to admit that. Like I said, the quarterback in 2016 was a good quarterback, definitely could lead his team, show that he belonged here. But I mean, this guy that we're looking at today, yes, he is an NFL MVP. He is a Super Bowl MVP. Is the definition of an NFL quarterback. That's like one of my favorite things. I was laughing going through Twitter the other day, watching those little things, and like, bro, the Cowboys are on the other side of the minute left in the 4th quarter. Like, when have we ever seen that? Like, I literally saw that the other day where like they were talking about the Patriots game, and I saw all these posts where people were like, oh, they're cheering and Dak has a minute 26 left. It's like, wow, like he's in that level now that like, hey, bro, you better not give Dak a minute, which I've said that for, I mean, he's done that his whole career. Like, hey, if you give my little brother the ball back, that's what he wants. You hear him say it all the time in interviews, that as a quarterback, whatever, that's what you want, the ball in your hand, the opportunity to go win the game. And now, like I said, you see it as a fan-based nation, like, or just as in general, as people who understand and know football, they're starting to get to, they're like, hey man, Dak is one of those guys. Coaches, Belichick acknowledged it. We shouldn't have gave him that much time. Like, he's one of those guys that you can't leave the time to anymore. And you don't say that about people, about quarterbacks that aren't elite.
No, it's true, man. It's true. Actually, I was on the ride home yesterday. I was thinking about this, and I said to myself, fear is respect. It's a thin line between those two, but fear is respect. And I mean, because I had you on, we talked about the environment at AT&T Stadium in 16, if I remember correct. And I said it was it was at the hype as you've ever seen it before back in 16. And everything's starting to change, man. Everything is the respect, the acknowledgement from the national people, even fans, man. Like fans that they call him average or mid or whatever you want to call it, they look stupider every single day. Like they get singled out. Like the ratio, if you will, on Twitter is like it's hitting hard to them now too, because we figured it out now. And the one thing that I wanted to see was once he's at this level and everyone knows it, and even the media knows it, now you'll see teams just be terrified. I'll see a team go 4th and 6 from their own 40-yard line because, hey, I can't give Dak the ball back anymore.
Dak the ball back, exactly.
Like, I'm scared. Like that fear, that's what wins titles to me, at least. Like we need that respect. We got it, man. So, but trying to be objective because I've built this guy up too, like you do. So, what's one thing he has to improve on? Give me one area he's got to get better at.
Man, like I told you, if you would have asked me this last year, even the year before, like I said, one of the things that I used to say, like when I look at Dak and people would ask me, oh, is Dak up there with Aaron Rodgers and everything? And I'd be like, yeah, of course. But, in the back of my head, I'd be like, when you watch Dak throw the ball, his ball don't really move like their ball does, or his ball don't really do like that. Now I mean, I truly not like I'm trying to be objective. I don't see a flaw. Like I said, all I see is the work he's put in with his QB coach. You see the decision making, you see the release, you see the timing. If anything, which I don't want to say is like a flaw in his game, the one thing I would want to see him do is be more aggressive with the ball. But that's not his game. He's somebody that's going to take care of the ball and make sure it goes to the right man. But me, I'm like, bro, that's Coop out there. Fuck it, throw it. Like Kyler Murray, like Kyler Murray's gonna throw it, just throw it. But that's not his game. So I have to respect that because again, that makes him the player he is. So like I said, man, a few years ago, I'd have been able to give you a few tendencies, or maybe his feet doesn't do this, maybe he doesn't come around like here. And again, I only know all this stuff now because I listen to him. Like he tells me what he's corrected. So again, like it's some of the things I was like, oh, I can't believe I was right about that. And again, it's just from studying him so long and listening to him. And then other things I have to remind myself, like, hey, bro, that's not anything you knew. He told you he corrected that, So, like I said, now trying to realize, or just trying to nitpick him. Like I said, it's hard. Like I said, that's where it really boils down to. If you want to try to find something that's in his game that's wrong, you would literally have to just nitpick. And I don't have the qualification to do that.
Nah, same here. And I tried, man. I tried. Like when he came in, the one thing I always said about Dak was he might not make the throw accurately, but it's never the wrong read. It's very infrequent. It's the wrong read, but now he's improved on the windows and the timing, and the arm strength is just, it's crazy how much he's improved at it, man. So whatever he's taking, please let me know too. Like, let me know about that too. But it's insane how much better he's gotten, man. And I can't find a weakness. I really can't. He's one of those top tier guys, and I'm glad people are starting to realize it, man. But talking about this outlook now, where we're going, coming out the bye. You checked out the schedule though. You know who we play from now on going forward. What game? I know the answer already in the top of my head, but what game are you looking forward most to seeing?
What's the one you think off the top of your head?
KC, right?
There you go, KC. I mean, that to me is the next measuring stick game. I mean, like I said, we have division games left, of course, which like I said, the Eagles have. I mean, the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles know what the Eagles are. I mean, there's weeks where I'm like, oh crap, the Eagles are good, and then a quarter later, I'm like, oh, the Eagles are bad. And then same thing with the Giants. The Giants do it to me. It's like, even against us, Daniel Jones had moments where I'm like, wow, the Giants are good this year, and then it's like, oh, the Giants are still bad. And then with Washington, I don't know what happened with their whole defense. They have what 9 first-round picks across their defensive line, and they're just getting swept away right now. So
yeah. I
don't know. Yeah, man. Like I said, I definitely see we're going to be good. LP, we're good.
I think we're going to be great, man. So I wanted to say it was a KC game, but I think things changed all of a sudden now. I think people have kind of, I don't want to say overanalyzed Mahomes, but they've kind of assessed what really happened with Mahomes.
He's throwing interceptions at a rate we've never seen out of Mahomes. That's what it is. I mean, and again, you start turning over the ball, that's going to be an issue. So, but I mean, like you just said, that's still Patrick Mahomes. that's still Eric Bieniemy. They're still, that's still an MVP. And then more importantly, we have to go there. And that's big. That's
Yeah.
Arrowhead in November, so it's going to be snowing. It's going to be cold. That's something the Cowboys don't necessarily have to see. I mean, they see it when they go to Philly and New York twice a year, but like I said, other than that, that's not something that they just are having to play in. So, like I said, you're definitely not playing a team with those kind of weapons. Like I said, and then again, it's going to be a shootout because look at the weapons you have on the field. Normally, you would expect to go into that kind of game knowing that you're going to see nothing but runs, nothing but runs. It's cold, it's snowing, they're going to run. But then again, I'm sure the Cowboys will have a great balanced offense. But when you look at both quarterbacks on the field, and again, the weapons that they each have, like that's going to be a ball that is just thrown through the air all night. So yeah, like I said, that's definitely the next measuring stick game I have. But I said, man, it's going to be real tough for anybody to beat us the way they're playing. Like really.
Have you looked
really.
at Arizona yet?
Yeah, of course, I looked at Arizona. I was going to tell you, like Arizona's good. Kyler Murray's doing really well right now. I don't give them so much credit as everybody else does, although I do hold him right now as the MVP front runner. They're 6-0, but I mean, look at their schedule. They had.
Tell me about it. Yeah,
They
please tell me about
they
it.
beat the Rams. They beat the Rams. I'll give them that one. But other than that, I think it was the Jaguars. I had it written down there. Their wins aren't against that impressive of teams. So I mean, we have to come back to that. But I mean, JJ Watt, of course, is looking like JJ Watt again over there. Chandler Jones, when he comes back, he's going to do his thing. Like I said, the offense is working really well. AJ Green is having a resurgence career. And then, of course, they just brought Zach Ertz over there. So, I mean, that's going to be huge in its own manner that he's getting a tight end that he hadn't had in that offense before. So, that's definitely going to be one, too. But, again, that's going to be inside. That's an inside game. They're in a dome. So, the elements are for both people. And, like I said, when it all boils down to it, I think our defense wins that game. I think, like I said, I know Dak's going to score, but I think what it's going to boil down to is that our defense is going to cause Kyler to make one or two more mistakes that their defense won't cause Dak to make.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, I can't even call it yet because we're so far ahead. It's actually the second to last game of the season, which I pray it's a flex game for that. But
right,
I mean,
everybody just sitting down.
Yeah, please. All right, man. So when I last had you on, you would not pick a team record, which is cool. I got you. But now that we know what we know, do you want to change that? Still?
No. Why would I pick a team record? I told you that we were going to be good. I told you that it'd be something like, okay, so here's the craziest part. I'm not going to throw a record out there, but I remember telling you specifically, I said, man, it's going to be like 2016. And you said that would be good. In 2016, they lost their first game and they went on a run. So far, we've lost our first game and we've gone on a run. So can it continue? Cool, because the biggest flaw of 2016 was running into Aaron Rodgers and that little fluke outside pass. So like I said, I still won't give a team record. I will say, and I'm not ready to say Super Bowl yet, but I will say I'll go past playoffs and tell you NFC Championship.
Okay. So then based on your logic of winning the first game and it's 2016, doing the math, I got you down for 14-3. Cool?
That's cool. We'll take that. If that's
14-3. All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, but I'm the same way with you though. I think so. Even when we started the season, I said it's going to be title game against Aaron Rodgers. Whatever happens there, we know how it goes down. We know how this is. I picked them to lose that game just in the preseason. But hey, look, Rodgers ain't perfect either, and they're not complete either.
His team and Aaron's having another MVP candidacy, I guess you could say. But I mean, his team's struggling. I mean, like I said, they're winning, they're getting their wins going, but I mean, they're not a team that you just come out there and weekly and go, "Ooh, look how good they look right now." I mean, they're getting off to extremely slow starts. I think Devontae Adams maybe has one, maybe 2 touchdowns in 6 weeks.
Just one?
Maybe 2. That's what I'm saying. Maybe 2 in 6 weeks. Aaron Jones had that phenomenal 3 touchdown game, but that was all passes. As far as the run game, they're not doing anything as far as running the ball. AJ Dillon has pretty much been a non-factor this beginning of the season, who was somebody that came on so strong for him last year. So, yeah, like I said, Aaron, I don't think, I mean, we may see the Packers in the first game of the playoffs, our home opener or something, but I don't see us having to deal with the Packers. Or the Packers in the team that I'm like, oh, we're somebody to deal with. Like I said, I think Tampa and Tom will hang around there just off of his savvy veteranship. I think the Rams look really good right now in the NFC. Again, the Cardinals, luckily they're in the same division, so they'll have to beat up on each other. So we'll probably get both of them out of there. So like I said, I would hate to see more at a first home game, I would hate to see the Rams first a lot more than I would be terrified of Aaron Rodgers coming in there. The Rams are
Yeah, I
coming
can
in.
see that. I mean,
You,
definitely, because their defense can
like,
still create problems too.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Their defense can create problems. Matt Stafford and that offense have things rolling right now. They got Henderson looking like Todd Gurley of old. So I mean, like I said, that's a team that's on the run right now. So like I said, that's a team that, especially like I said, first round. That's a team I don't want walking in. And like I said, the way that everything's rolling out, they're probably going to be a first
Wild
round
card.
road team for somebody. Exactly. So
Mhm.
like I said, they may exactly be that. Like I said, it may be that team walking into the AT&T Stadium first week of the playoffs, and like I said, that to me is a lot more dangerous than them telling me Green Bay's coming back to deal.
Okay. I mean, the way I see it is really, I do think it's going to be a 2-horse race though, because you would think that at some point Tampa has to slip up somewhere. At some point, it's just the way it works. I mean, I would see us.
But same thing with their division this year. Their division's weak too. The NFC South is extremely weak. Like I said, the Saints aren't really doing anything. Atlanta and Matt Ryan are struggling, fumbling. I mean, so I mean, Carolina, they started off pretty well, but now Sam Darnold's getting called out. I mean, so I don't see where Tom can stumble. Like I said, especially because we know he's going to win that division.
It's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, I do think that week 16 game is going to be, or 17 game in this case, that's the one you want. And hey, look, if you finish at number 2 in the conference, you win that game. Who knows? Maybe the number 1 seed slips up, and all of a sudden
Maybe
you have a title game at home. So I mean, I would like to see it happen, really. But talking about this team, I think we both agree that this team's going to go far. We just feel it. They're going to go far. So kind of just finish my sentence real quick. This team will be held back by blank.
themselves, I guess. Like I said, I
A little
mean,
more specific.
I don't know if I can be. I know everybody right now is criticizing the coach and like some of his decision making, but like I said, that I'm not going to be somebody that back Mike McCarthy, because again, like I said, you see it and you see, like, again, I'm somebody that's like, why? Like on the first, like I said, I understand you go for it on the 4th down, cool. And then you turn around, it's like, why not go for it on this 4th down? But then again, the situation of the game had changed. Like I said, at that time, it was about, hey, let's try to go take the lead. Where at this time, it was, hey, we need to stay in the game. Let's get this field goal. Granted, he missed it, but it was all about that time, hey, we need to stay in this game. So, like I said, I'm not going to say I think it's the coach or anything like that. I think it's just them. Like I said, they're doing so well right now. They're at such a great pace that I think it's just making sure that they stay within themselves, make sure that they realize what they've done to get here, what they do to get where they're going, and just staying in there. Like I said, allowing Kellen Moore to stay just humble, not humble, but just woosah to yourself. Don't be like, oh, this is working this well, so let's try to take it here and go crazy with it. Just, hey man, what y'all are doing is working. Let's stay with that. Let's limit the bad snaps. Let's limit the turnovers that especially caused off of fumbles. Because I mean, even Dak's interceptions as always are not interceptions Dak's throwing directly to a defender. They're 9 times out of 10 it's been hit off somebody's hand or something like that. So exactly. So we control these fumbles. We control the bad snaps, and like I said, the defense, like I said, there was a few times against the Chargers where you could tell they got caught out of place. So like I said, just lock that up, make sure everything's clean. Which again, since that Chargers game, I hadn't seen them been caught out of place, so that was definitely something that Quinn cleaned up. So like I said, I think it would be them just really trying to do too much. Like I said, I think as long as they stay within the game plan that they've kept right now, the mindset that they have going, I don't see anybody beating this team but themselves.
I think the one thing, if I had to kind of pick it out, is they're good at turnovers. Like they're great at turnovers and getting them, but don't be like you're dependent on that only. Like I
Yeah.
want to see them improve to where they're getting 3 and now it's like the sacks are great, turnovers are great, but I mean, stop a team on 1st down and just force more 3 and outs the more conventional way. Like just don't be to a point where you need Diggs to save you every single week. Like let's not get to that point. I think if they have a drought, which I mean it can happen, it's in ebbs and flows. Like if they hit a drought with that, that could be one thing, or the red zone, whatever's going on with the red zone. Even in that game, I'm not going to criticize Kellen Moore. I think he's been great, but the 2-point conversion call, I didn't like it. I
Yeah.
really didn't like it, man. I didn't like it. Didn't like the design. Didn't like the idea of a pop pass to TP. I wasn't a fan of it. So I think, like you said, staying within yourself is going to be important for the offense too. But do not live off the turnovers nonstop, because they will stop at some point. I mean, your corner having 7 picks in 6 weeks is not. It's not ordinary. It's not normal. That's going to have to stop at some point, like you said, if not throwing it to him. So that's just been my fear, man. And I hope that they can kind of be more consistent in all other phases besides that. So that's my thing. But
Yeah, no, and I agree with you, like I said, but I think they're doing phenomenal on defense. Like I said, I agree with you. The stops need to be a little bit more on a consistent basis. But man, like I said, they're still making the stops because you're still forcing that offense. Like you said, it's gotten to where that other sideline knows, hey, we have to go beat Dak. Like Dak is that other quarterback. So we have to go out there. And like you said, it may be that simple fear alone that is causing some of these offensive coordinators to put the ball in jeopardy. So like I said, as long as that offense, like I said, Dak has said it for 2 or 3 years now, like we have to play complementary football on both sides of the ball. And this is the first year that you're truly seeing that come full tuition.
totally agree with that one, man. All right, man. It's been great having you on. So it's time to wrap the show up. But before I get you out of here, you actually got something going on, man. You wanted to plug. So let us know.
Yeah, man, like I said, you guys can catch me on Twitter at 86 Prescott. You can find me on Instagram at First Prescott. But yeah, man, recently I was hired by Ebony, so I will be hosting my own podcast on the Ebony Podcast Network called You Don't Know Me Yet. Presented Talking Football. Yeah, You Don't Know Me Yet presents Talking Football with Fantasy. You got me all out my words, just laughing at me, man. But yeah, it'll be called You Don't Know Me Yet, Talking Football with Tad Prescott. Like I said, every week, man, I'll have one of my friends on there. We'll just kind of wrap it up, kind of give a little podcast. I'll try to have weekly guests on there, guys like Ryan Clark, Marcus Spears, Michael Irvin. I've already done a few interviews with. So try to keep them in there. Like I said, we're supposed to drop October 25th. But yeah, something I'm definitely looking forward to, something I'm extremely excited about.
You heard it here first, man. And yo, honestly, congrats to you, man.
Thank you.
I know you've been talking about doing this for a while, so it's happy to see you come up and do it, man. And for me, thank you, man, for coming on. It means a lot just having you on to talk football like always, man. And man, I wish you all the best, honestly, man. Really, I wish you all the
man. Like I
best.
said, I'm definitely gonna have to get you on my show as well. You're gonna have to come drop some knowledge for the people.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. But guys, this is all the time we have for tonight. For my guest, Mr. Tad Prescott and LP Cruz. As always, guys, if you love this video, by the way, hit this sub button at Stonehall Sports. Make sure you hit that sub button. It's free. Go ahead, hit that button. But as always, Cowboys up. Peace.